Good morning. Happy Saturday. This is WagerTalk's last call. Kelly Stewart here with a star-studded lineup for you guys today of WagerTalk handicappers. We got Yanni the Greek coming up first. Andy Lang coming in to hit on some of those prop bets. We've got Teddy covers. You guys know him from doing the opening line report with me on Mondays. And of course, Steve Merrill coming in hot to talk college basketball. He's been doing very well on his free play videos over on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. So I want to give a special shout out to all of our WagerTalk insiders starting to populate here in the chat early this morning. To become an insider, wt.buzz/insiders. $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month. That's right. You guys can get all of the premier access here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Let's bring in Yanni the Greek. We're going to start off with him because Art DeCesar sent me a laundry list. Like, I don't even know if VR is going to have this many plays today. I know he is our volume guy, or somewhat of, right? You can put out your Steam sheet there on your homepage to show all of the stuff, and then you narrow it down and say, all right, here's what we're actually playing. And when I say Art sent me a list, I sent it to our producer, Louis D'Onofrio, and he wrote back, holy shit. And I'm pretty sure that's what I wrote Art when Art texted me this morning, because it is really a long list. It takes up the entire iPhone screen here. So VR, welcome in. Let's kind of go through some of the stuff that you've got. Once we get some more people in the chat, we'll start going over the stuff with Art, see if you guys have anything in agreement. And then, we'll get you out of here because I know you got a busy Saturday.
Yeah, and no surprise. I mean, it's college basketball Saturday, and these groups bet 40, 50 plays. I mean, that's what I see in the accounts by the end of the day. When you add in, first half, second halves, all that team totals and all the stuff that they do. It's just a ton of volume. So I'm not surprised they're getting it at the Westgate, especially at a time like this where all the attention is on football. But today, with only 2 NFL games, the bettors are going to be betting college basketball. They're a little bit behind because they've been focused mostly on football. And again, wise guys know this, and they're taking advantage because a lot of these lines are being pushed up by the public that's getting involved today in college basketball. But some of the stuff that we started betting, I'll narrow down 10 sides that I've seen multiple groups on for you. Start off with 602 NC State -4, 607 Clemson -3, 610 Wake Forest -5, a lot of favorites, 628 Georgia -5, 668 Arkansas State -8, 684 George Mason -6.5, 713 South Alabama +9 after Troy got dummied up. 720 Tarleton +1 and -1. 730 Idaho State -2.5 and 3. And then 737 Memphis +9, 8 and 8.5. Those are signs that I saw multiple groups on, and I haven't seen much take back. But rest assured, throughout the day, you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of these lines got dummied up overnight when the limits are real low. Because I can tell you with a lot of my off-screen shops, I have like a nickel, a 250 or nickel limit on overnights. And then this morning I could bet 5 dimes on that exact same play. So what's happening is a lot of those overnights are getting dummied up for 250 and 500. And then once the public gets involved and starts pushing it even further, then we'll see orders come in on the opposite side and blast them off screen. So that's what's going to happen a lot in college basketball today. Pay attention to those line moves throughout the day because they will hit the board. A lot of movers cheat, and even though we're not supposed to go on screen, they go on screen because that's where the line is available. So you'll be able to pick off a lot of these moves throughout the day and pay attention to that. Look at the odds logic screen, how the line moved in one direction, and now an hour before game time, 30 minutes before game time, is it coming back strong the other way? Because with the odds logic, if you click the matchup, you could see the times that the line moved. That's what's key. Did it happen last night? Did it happen overnight? Or did it happen early this morning? Pay attention to what times these bets were placed because that's going to tell you what the limits were at that time. And you want to pay attention when the limits are at their highest. These guys are looking to get down a lot of money, not 250 and 500, even at plus EV. They're looking to get down big money. And the only way to do that is when everybody opens up like this morning and taking, bigger bets.
All right, VR, I only see 2 games that you and Art have in common, and I'll go over that list now, and I'll go over that list again later on in the show for those that are joining late. But it looks like Tarleton State and Idaho. No, they played Idaho -6, not Idaho State. So I think Tarleton State is the only one you had in agreement. But I'm going to go through this list and tell me if you happen to see anybody sharp on any of these. Again, guys, it's really long. I will go through it. And then I also got some NFL stuff from Art. We'll get some NFL from VR as well. Yep. All right, Drexel. And I apologize, guys. I do not, I can't ask Art to send me the rotation number. So you guys are going to have to open up your odds screens. Drexel +7. Akron +2. Campbell -3.5. Cal Northridge Pick'em. Tarleton State -2. Air Force +15.5. Florida -6.5. DePaul -3. Monmouth +9. Texas A&M -5.5, or I'm sorry, -5, excuse me. Penn State +16. Kentucky +5.5. VCU -5.5. Idaho State -2.5. Kansas -4.5. TCU -2.5. Omaha -9. UMass +3.5. Idaho -6. St. John's -12.5. East Tennessee -6. George Washington -15.5. Southern Indiana +11. And Central Arkansas -9.5. Art's favorite play today, Texas Southern +7. So I'm going to put these in the chat towards the end of the show. I'll go over them again with Steve Merrill because that's now become a running joke, whether Steve Merrill agrees with the sharp action or not. VR, I know that's a very exhaustive list, but do your best, kind of sift through it with us. How about this? Were any of these fake moves? Maybe that they bet into the Westgate moved the line on the screen and then they hammered it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. I don't like the St. John's play. I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like that St. John's play. I'll tell you that. Campbell also, I don't trust that Campbell play. Move down to who else does he have? Yeah, the rest look on, but the lines move. That's the problem.
No, and they're going to, right? Because here's the reality. Whether they're getting it from you in the steam room, whether they're getting it from Art through me on Saturdays, the way we can report sharp actions because it's already been bet by the sharps, right? Yep. That is kind of the reality. And that is the difference, right? Is these half-point line moves. I mean, some of these have moved 2 points, but a lot are half point off, point off. What is your recommendation for our audience, right? I just gave you an exhaustive list. You just gave us 10 plays. You narrowed down. What should they be doing with this information?
It should help confirm, but you shouldn't chase. A perfect example is like Texas A&M, all right? That line opened as low as like 2.5, 3. It's now up to 6. Like if you're betting it now at 6, I think it's a little bit too late. Like I wouldn't try to get there at the end. That's the key. Like you want to obviously, like there's still value even if they stop betting at times, but you don't want to continuously do that. Like always get that last number. The success rate won't be high. We talked about that in college football. Remember, I think it was 2 years ago where I did a whole season of if you would have bet the lines that moved 2 points or more. Okay. So if you would have bet those games at the original number, you hit about 60%. But if you would have bet those college football moves after they moved 2 points or more, you actually lost money. So it was the difference between being in that like 0.5% that actually hits near 60% of their moves compared to losing money just because the line moved 2 or 3 points. Like it's that tight. And I think more recreational bettors just need to be conscious of that. Like you don't even have to have a stiff rule. Like, because again, you may like a move even after it moves 1 point, 1.5 or 2, but don't get in the habit of that. Like make that as minimal as possible on your card. If you got 5 plays, one of them should be late, at that closing line. You don't want to keep betting in the closing lines because again, that's where the sportsbook feels their most confidence. They believe that at -110, you don't have an edge versus their closing line. Like that's their their bread and butter. So you don't want to keep going up against that closing line because it's a fight that you're probably not going to win long term. So you want to get in a little bit earlier because, again, I know we joke about closing line value, but at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. And if you get closing line value, you're getting the best of it. And if you're getting the best of it and you manage your risk correctly, you're going to make money betting sports. It really is that simple. But again, we make it harder than it needs to be.
All right. A couple of the things from the comments section. We're going to get into NFL. I'll let VR touch on some NBA or NHL sharp action or anything else he would like to share with you guys in the next few minutes. Art agrees with you, and this makes me nervous, VR, because we all know I teased the Panthers into oblivion. Did not work out well with Ohio State. We already knew that. But I do still think this is going to be a closer game. And he said the Sharps were on the under 44. So that does bode well for teasers. Bucs minus 2.5. You gave out on bet on it. He confirmed it. And then he said 49ers money, despite the line move towards Seattle, under money from the opener. They have bet it all the way down from 49.5 to 47. Anything on the 2 NFL games to add? Again, VR gave out the Bucs on Wednesday on bet on it. And I'd already bet the Panthers because we know I don't listen all that well. Mac in the
I thought, Kel, there was a lot of recency bias, meaning if you zoom out, I think Tampa's the right side. But if you look at the last 3 or 4 weeks, I can't fault bettors for taking Carolina. They look like the better team of late. I just don't think that's sustainable. I think they got a lot of one-score wins. I think a lot of luck was involved. Where the flip side, I think the Bucs had a lot of bad luck. They lost a lot of those one-score games. And I just think it's like the perfect storm to get a little bit of value on the Bucs, which is why I laid it. But it should be a tight game. And I thought there was some line value based on they just played earlier in December, and the Bucs were a 3-point favorite on the road. Again, the result aside, they were still, favorites in Carolina. So I do like the Tampa Bay side. I still do. I agree with the under as well. The first game went under. It was lower scoring. I don't think that's going to change, especially with such a meaningful game, kind of playoff atmosphere. I lean that way also. Seattle, San Francisco shocked me a little bit. That's such a move on Seattle. Let's not forget, San Francisco opened about a 1-point favorite. Now, power rating wise, I have Seattle as the second best team in the NFL. I have the Rams number 1, Seattle number 2. On a neutral field, I make Seattle about a 2.5 point favorite over San Francisco. This isn't on a neutral field. It's in San Francisco. So if I give San Francisco about a 2-point home field advantage, Seattle should be about a 1-point favorite. Now, again, there's injuries, there's situations, and it's not that off of that 1 point. But I was a little bit surprised to see them, go up to 2.5 juice now. So the next thing we're going to see is Seattle's a 3-point favorite in San Francisco. What has San Francisco done wrong of late? They've only won, 6 games in a row? They only covered 6 games in a row. They have 2 quarterbacks that are top 5 in passing success rate. Let me repeat that. One of the highest correlation as far as metrics goes is passing success rate to winning football games. And the San Francisco 49ers have 2 quarterbacks that are in the top 5. That's how strong this team is. And they're being faded. That to me is surprising, but I have to pay attention because power rating wise, I would lean San Francisco. But the market's telling me Seattle's the right side. Everything I know about reading the market is telling me Seattle is the right side. San Francisco at 2.5 looks like a good teaser also, taking them up to 8.5, divisional game, meaningful game. I get it. But I think 3's next, kind of like what happened in Tampa Bay. So it may not be available when this game kicks off. It's the later game. And real quickly, I know they were saying Publix on San Francisco, Kel, but I'm not seeing that. I'll tell you the truth. I'm looking in the back end of this book, and they're heavier on Carolina. And I don't see one-sided Tampa Bay action as some have reported. I don't see it. And I don't see it in the Seattle and San Francisco either, that it's all, forgive me, that's all San Francisco. I'm seeing plenty of Seattle action from the recreational bettors as well. So you saw some sharp money take Seattle, and now there's recreational bettors taking Seattle as well. Again, that usually worries me, but at least the market's reflecting it, and they're now 2.5 juiced favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to tease San Francisco. I think it seems
Probably the move.
a little overblown. Panthers, thank God, are out of the teaser position, which is usually not a good sign for me, but at least I can't throw them in any more mixes there. Andy Lang is coming up next. He's going to talk about all of the props. So if you guys have a prop question, drop it in the chat. We're going to take 2 questions here really quickly for VR. VR, they want to know NHL's team and NBA's team for today. Anything else?
No, NBA, stay away. Unless you have odds logic and you're getting injuries and you have off-screen book lined up and you fire right away. Or else you're going to be looking at a ticket at -2.5. And next thing you know, the game's going to be +5. Like that's happening over and over and over and over.
It's been happening for years. I think it's happening more frequently now, which is why I basically said it's unbettable until the finals. I don't even want.
You're so right. Even the guys that I'm working with, they're middling these games. They're not taking positions. They are middling them. And why wouldn't you? You're moving the market 4, 5, 6 points on sides, let alone totals. How can you not middle it? The only thing that's legit are player props. So pay attention to when Crack throws out some props because those are legit. Otherwise, I would not really piggyback any of this theme because you're getting it late and it's just based on a player being out or injuries. Now, as far as, and I got some surprise for you before I let you go. As far as NHL goes, nothing really sticking out. Buffalo, I saw in accounts, Buffalo got steamed. Philadelphia at plus money got steamed as well. And then Toronto at even money also got steamed. I saw those in the accounts, but hockey hasn't been all that hot. Instead, I'm going to give you this. Here's some tennis for you. Yesterday, I gave out a plus 200 that got the money for us. Here's some tennis for you, okay? It's in that English Cup over there. So it's a big tournament. No problem getting it. Write this one down, all right? Shintaro Mochizuki, Mochzuki. We started betting at -140. We stopped betting it about -170. And we also laid -1.5 games on him. So we bet him on the money line and bet -1.5 games. That's what we did yesterday with that Wawrinka plus 200, and that came through. So that's Shintaro Mochizuki at up to -170. We bet him. And then in the women's, Belinda Bencic, Bencic. We bet her from plus 150 down to plus 120. So anything as a dog price, she looks good. So Belinda Bencic and Shintaro Mochizuki, those are the strongest tennis where we played the point line and the money line. And then 2 real quickly, just the point lines. We took Shen Zhang, Zhang, Zhang plus 4.5 games, -160. And also Stan Wawrinka, the same guy we had yesterday, plus 200. We're taking him at plus 3.5 games, -120. And here, I'll throw in a 4% that I sent out to subscribers as well. NHL for you guys. Under Tampa Bay Lightning, San Jose. I went under 6.5 at -115, good to -125. If you can't find that, get under 6, but make sure you get plus money. So if you go under 6.5, good to up to -125, 130. If you're going to go under 6, make sure you get at least plus 105 to go under 6. Tampa Bay and San Jose. So you got a lot of gold for today to do some damage.
Yeah, I hope you guys are fired up because this has been a lot of great free information, not only from VR here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, but from Art to Caesar at the Westgate Superbook. VR, what do you got for sale up today on WagerTalk.com? What's going on with the Steam Room this weekend? Who is all invited?
You're going to love. I just released my second 5% of the college football bowl games. The first one cashed easily. The second one goes on Friday. So I already released that today to subscribers of 5% in the college football playoffs. That's up and available. Don't wait too long. I'm not sure that line's going to be available come game day. I'd be surprised. I have today's NFL up with multiple picks in there, 4% plays, number 1 over the last 7 days, number 1 in the regular season in NFL as well. And of course, I have Sunday's NFL. We'll have the Steam Room that final hours for subscribers only. And again, all you guys that signed up for the year that partnered with me, just follow the game plan. We are as set up as I've been in a very, very long time to do damage in 2026. So let's just keep coasting. And best of luck to everybody today.
Best of luck to you, VR at Greek _Gamble on all your social channels. All right, guys, if you're looking for an NFL playoff survivor, Ariel and I just launched ours 2 days ago on Splash Sports, $50,000 guaranteed, $25 to enter, splashsports.com/Kelly in Vegas. We're running a little bit behind, but good news is for you guys, I will run this right up until tip-off. Andy Lang wrote me yesterday. He said, Cal, I've got a 5% play. I need to be on last call. I said, fine. I guess you can join us.
I need to be on.
You guys can catch Andy Lang with Dan Alexander on Wager Talk today. We've been kind of revamping a lot of shows on Wager Talk, and I think this has been my favorite revamp, right? Andy was doing it solo. Dan was already behind the wings as a producer, and somebody threw out, we should just have them both do it. And I have thoroughly enjoyed watching the show since we've done it. What else can they expect on Wager Talk today with you guys, Andy?
Well, I think listen, we got great information, always going to have free plays and breakdowns. I think my favorite part is we do actual bets with people in the chat now. And winner, if you win, you get a free 3-day pass. So Teddy and I we do a segment every week called Sell Me, where Dan randomly picks an NFL game, and then he assigns Teddy aside and me aside, and we just have to impromptu.
That one's a good segment.
And then people in the chat put who they agree with, and whoever wins, we pick a winner and you get a free 3-day pass. And people have stepped up and said, Andy, I want to go head to head with you. I'll bet a 3-day pass. So I think that's been the most fun thing that we've randomly added, and credit to Jesse Schul, because it started with him and I started going head to head on some things, and it was like, we're at wig or something. And then we're like, no, let's just give away 3-day passes. That's been my favorite part.
That's great. I have thoroughly enjoyed it every single day, noon on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. They go live. You guys can also watch the replay, of course, but they do an excellent job. But Andy, you did ask me to come on because you said, Kelly, I know nobody wants to work 6 days a week like I do, or 7, but you are here because you have a 5% play up right now on wagertalk.com. I told the comment section, if they have any prop questions for today or tomorrow, they're welcome to drop it. But they're over here arguing about college basketball. So get them fired up for today's NFL games. Get them fired up for arguably one of your bigger plays of the NFL season.
Yeah, we hit 2 5% plays last week, actually. We've been kind of closing out the NFL season really strong. So, it is, if you don't feel great about a week, kind of play it a little close to the vest. But if you're seeing the board really well, it's okay to step out and take some chances, and we love the card today. So, yeah, we can go over some plays here. Let's just do game by game here. We'll focus on today's games, Carolina and Tampa Bay. There's some rushing props I actually like, and it's both of the quarterbacks, Kelly. I really like Bryce Young over his rushing total. The problem is it opened at 17.5, and that's already up to 19.5. So people obviously agree with me, but he still had 20+ rushing yards the last 4 games. What I love is take his 5 best rushes, his 5 best single rushes of the year. 4 of them have come in the last 4 weeks. He's getting really efficient with his running, and this is such a huge game. Carolina can kind of backdoor their way into the playoffs, but this is a game that both teams are going to want to win. And this just screams Baker Mayfield over his rushing. A game like this, he's not throwing the ball away. He's going to tuck it run. I know he's hurt. When the season is over, we're going to hear Baker Mayfield's going in for surgery on shoulder and ankle or something. But I really like those two to go over their rushing yards. Speaking of Baker, I think you got to take him to throw an interception. He had 2 last week. This is 4 straight games that he's had an interception, 6 out of the last 7. I don't know what's going on with him in this receiving core, but they're just a little bit off kilter, and Baker's clearly hurt. The ball is sailing on him a little bit. You want to go to receiving yards? This is just one of those kind of gut feelings, Kelly. I think you got to take Mike Evans over 4.5 receptions. Like, do or die game. Baker's going to the guy who got him there, and it's going to be Mike Evans. If you're looking for who's hot, I mean, the guy that keeps going over his props is Jalen McMillan. He's gone over in 2 out of the 3 games he's played last year. He's coming off a 114-yard, game. So Jalen McMillan's a hot hand. I think gut-wise, you probably got to take Mike Evans to go over his receptions. And then I do like Baker to throw over 1.5 touchdown passes. This was a rinse and repeat type of play at the beginning of the year, but then his wide receivers got hurt. But now they're back. 2 out of the last 3 games, he's thrown for 2. So Baker to go over would be some props I like in that one. not as much as what I like in the Seattle, San Francisco. I'm going to play it pretty safe here. Pearsall's questionable. It looks like he's going to play. Kittle is going to play. So if Kittle's playing, you got to take his over receiving. It's 61.5. I know Seattle's good against tight ends, but Brock Purdy's playing about as good as any quarterback right now, and Kittle's flown over in his last 5 or 6 games. And speaking of Brock Purdy, I think my favorite one in this one is over 1.5 touchdown passes. I'm seeing this like a -120, which I don't understand. He's had 3, 5, and 3 in his last 3 weeks. I know Seattle's a really good defense, but fact is, last time Purdy played Seattle, he threw for 2, and Christian McCaffrey's a little banged up. I know they're going to give him the ball when they get inside, but don't be surprised if Purdy has success throwing the ball. And then, all right, Kelly, I want your opinion on this one. Do you think Sam Darnold is going to be seeing some ghosts today? Do you trust Sam Darnold in a big game?
I mean, listen, I'm sitting here off the wings texting my buddy saying, Andy doesn't know why Baker Mayfield's having a bad year. All jokes aside, Andy doesn't believe in my witchy bullshit. But Sam Darnold is having a good year. The question is he going to be able to protect the football? Listen, the Niners were my pick to start the year to win the Super Bowl. I had them at 20-1, all but dead, right? Dead on arrival by week 6. They've now revived themselves a little bit. But the question is, can the Niners play in a big game? They've been really frustrating as well. Yes, they did get that nice win over the Bears at home the other night. I teased them. I'm going to tell you this. I have more recently got into doing props, right? Doing all the stuff with the splash guys on quick picks. And trying to be contrarian is kind of hard, right? Like, I'm a contrarian by nature. I want to find an argument for the other side. The question is, with Sam Darnold, we've seen a lot of moments of greatness this past 2 seasons, right? We know the Jets were probably more of a problem than anything else. No Fred Warner is never a good thing for this Niners defense. I think this is going to be a 1-point game. I can't wait for this game to land 1 just for John Murray. Does that mean that Sam Darnold's going to have a great game? I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't get involved in that game at all. I've got 3 up for the Sunday slate, which you can absolutely crucify when I put out that video later, because I'm sure you're going to just die laughing at most of them. But I do like your Baker Mayfield to throw an interception. It's going to be a really bad day. And it's going to be a bad next month and a half for Baker. Next year, though, I think Baker may be my guy. I think he's going to be a bet on season. All
right. Well, if you think Darnold is going to fall apart, then you got to take his to throw an interception. It's only -115. You just you have to. If you're worried about Darnold in this spot, then take his prop to throw an interception. We're waiting on a lot of props to come out tomorrow, but Kelly, I know everyone talks about incentives. I'll give you my incentive thoughts. It's jump the shark. These were novelty that you could really take advantage of, and now you can't.
Andy, when ESPN and CBS are talking about them, and they've got kids that are like, they just got into the industry last week talking about these incentives, and I see it on Instagram, we're way past the point of finding any value on any of these players.
The only one that I think is legit is Tony Pollard over his rushing. He needs 66 yards. They've got it at 66.5, 67.5. He's playing Jacksonville, a great rush defense, but to me, this screams Jacksonville gets up, and in the 3rd and 4th quarter, maybe Tennessee kind of gives him the ball to try and get there. Dawson Knox to catch a touchdown, that gets him an incentive. That's certainly attainable. And then Hunter Henry to have 5 receptions. That's definitely attainable for the Patriots this week. So those are a few that you might be able to look at. But yeah, it's the days of you having an advantage over the books and the incentives are long gone. And like you said, if you see it on ESPN, if you see it on CBS, or if you see it as a boost on DraftKings, run for the hill
really fast. Put on your running shoes so you can go faster. Andy Lang, let everybody know what you've got going on over at WagerTalk.com. We're headed into the NFL playoffs. Talk about the prop market and what you like to look for. So if somebody wants to get involved with you, they kind of know what to expect.
So what we'll do is last week we had a couple of big plays, but you're going to get every play that we put in there. So like we'll have a bunch of smaller plays. So you want high volume across a bunch of games, you can do that. If you just want to focus on our best bet, you can do that. There's only 2 games right now. We only have 1 best bet that's up, but it's a 5% best bet. Like I said, we cashed on Sunday, we cashed on Monday. And when you're seeing the board good in a certain sport, that's when you really want to step out and, take a big shot. I like the situation. I like the setup here. Tomorrow we are going to have our best bets that are up. We're waiting on a few more lineups and things to come out. So I will definitely be on Michael Wilson over his receiving. You can bet your bottom dollar we're going that one. He needs like 93 yards for 1,000. I think they got his prop at like 64. So he'll be a good one. He'll be a good one to take advantage of. And then Kelly, we do NBA props. I'll give you a few. RJ Barrett over 15.5 points. Brooke Lopez to make a 3. Jaime Jaquez over 15.5 points. Jalen Johnson over 8.5 assists. Those are some NBA plays that we'll have today.
You read faster than I do. I got down Brooke Lopez to make a 3.
Okay.
One more time, a little bit slower for your girl and our audience, because VR just nailed it. He said, if you want to beat the NBA, the props market is where it's at. It's not trying to guess or try to beat the market. It's either middling or props.
Yeah, RJ Barrett over 15.5 points. He's just come back from injury. This is his 3rd game back. He's ramping up his minutes. He had 17 in his last game. He's got a great matchup against Atlanta on a back-to-back. So RJ Barrett, you got some value there. Brooke Lopez over his 3s. He's made at least 1 in 7 straight games. A little worried because Kawhi Leonard is on fire right now, and Brooke Lopez is not shooting as many shots with Kawhi in there, but he is making his 3s. Jaquez for the Heat over 15.5. He's gone over in 6 straight. He's playing 30-plus minutes a game. And the best part of him is he comes off the bench. So he's going up against the other team's bench players. So you get a really good advantage there. And Jalen Johnson, check the status on Trae Young. He just goes over his assists, whether Trae's in or out of the lineup. He's getting about 17 potential assists per game. So 8.5 was an easy cash last night, back-to-back. But, those are some NBA props.
All right, good stuff from Andy Lang. WT.buzz/AL is his short link over on WagerTalk at Bump Sports on social media. Well, at least on X. Andy Lang Sports on TikTok.
Andy Lang Bets.
Right? Andy Lang Bets on TikTok and Instagram. I can't get him to change his X. It's not my fault, you guys. You yell at him in the comment section.
It says Andy Lang Bets on there. It's the title. I don't know why you messed this up. It just say Andy Lang Bets on all social media platforms. It's been that way for years. Years.
Okay.
So, Andy Lang Bets.
You can tell Andy and I have too much fun together all the time. He is the best. Make sure you guys catch him and Dan Alexander on WagerTalk today, every single day, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Good luck today, Andy. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check and see what his 5% play is so I can add those to my Splash quick pick lineups. Thanks, Andy. Guys, if you're in the chat, I'm going to need you guys to stop what you're doing right now. Hit that thumbs up button because I've got all this stuff populated to give you guys all of the sharp stuff from Art to Caesar at the Westgate Superbook. But I need a little love first. I'm working really hard for you guys on a Saturday. This guy's also working very hard for you guys on a Saturday and probably tomorrow. And I know we're going to see him on Monday as well on the opening line report for Wild Card Weekend. Teddy Covers, welcome in to the show. We're going to talk some NFL. We're going to talk some NBA. Are you doing End Zone Live tomorrow?
I'm doing 3.5 hours of End Zone Live tomorrow. So and that's a lot of fun. If you guys haven't been on End Zone Live yet, Sundays, early games, we go through, and we start about 10, 15 minutes ahead of time. I think 9:45 Pacific is when we go on air, and we go through the end of the last, if the game goes into overtime, we stick around the end of the early games. So it's a good 3.5 hours worth of, and there's a bunch of guys. It's not just me. It's not just Kelly. It's all kinds of, people come in and out. It's casual. It's fun. And over the course of the 3 hours, man, we give our 3.5 hours. We give out a ton of live bets. We give out a ton of good info. And you get to kind of be a fly on the wall with a bunch of guys who do what we do, hanging around talking about games. It's all, the numbers have been phenomenal. We're getting like 20,000 views.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely blown up.
Check it out tomorrow.
It's been a great show. If you guys are into live betting, if you guys are into banter, if you guys are into hanging out and having a good time. My girlfriend Kelly does not bet. She has texted me every single week, something absolutely hilarious that happens on the show. She goes, "This is so entertaining. It's like sitting around watching the game, learning about the game with some of my guy friends and just, having a good time." So if you guys have not got a chance to check that out, it will be on right before kickoff tomorrow right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Guys, I just dropped those sharp college basketball in the chat. You are welcome. Thank you for your participation. Teddy Covers, one of the things that VR said earlier in the show, you had not popped on yet, was about the NBA season. And I basically said, look, it's unbettable until the finals for me personally. You have been betting the NBA since before I was born. Talk to me about what we need to be looking at on the NBA card, when we need to be betting it, and how we sift through this copious amounts of information and injury and line moves so that you can make better informed bets. If you do want to wait till finals, so be it. But Teddy Covers is not waiting. Teddy Covers gets great information, and he's beating the market in these games or beating the information. Teddy, kind of let our audience know how you look at the NBA and what you got on deck for today.
So the NBA is a completely different animal from just about any other sport. What you see in the NBA, game in, game out, week in, week out, month in, month out, is the betting markets react pretty much exclusively to injury information. The betting markets are this guy's in, this guy's out, this guy's in, this guy's out. That's how the lines move in the NBA. From my perspective, and the way I've made 197 units betting NBA since 2022, is to worry a lot less about the individual players in or out of the lineup and a lot more about the current form of the team. My focus in the NBA has nothing to do with this guy's in or this guy's out tonight, generally. Sometimes I like betting on teams when a player is out. Wemby's out for San Antonio, great. Wemby's Spurs are deep. Let's bet on the Spurs without their star. Trae Young's out for Atlanta, great. Let's bet on Atlanta. The Hawks, many ways better without their stars. So the market zig this way on injuries. I like to zig that way. The other thing I like to do with the NBA is find teams and their roles, and you just bet them again and again and again in that role. Find teams that are currently playing good basketball. Season-long stats say this team sucks. Right now, look at the Wizards. Look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn and Washington are great examples right now of teams that are awful. And you look at their full season stats, they're at the bottom of everything. And if you've been betting them for the last 2 weeks, all you've done is make money. All right. Take advantage of the short-term runs in the NBA. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. The betting markets, they focus on season-long stats. I focus on current form. And those two factors, current form versus season-long, injuries that the markets overreact to versus injuries that the teams that have depth and play at every bit as well or better without their stars. That's my top two NBA betting strategies. And obviously, plus 197 units. It's been paying off.
Yes, it has. So if you're looking for somebody to partner up for the NBA season, Teddy Covers is your guy. WT.buzz/TC. Teddy, do you have anything that narrowly missed your card for today in the NBA? Sorry, we got lots of NBA questions. I feel like this is supposed to be an NFL college basketball show, but we're going to capitalize and get these guys some of that information.
So I'm tempted by the Miami Heat. That's the early start game. Miami's playing good basketball and Minnesota isn't. We talk about current form, short-term streaks. Miami was nasty for much of December. If you back the Heat in December, all you did is lose money. Now they won, 4 in a row? They kind of flipped the switch. They were able to, and they've been able to win without here. The markets, Bam Adebayo's not playing tonight. Tyler Hero's out tonight. Miami's a deep team. Doesn't matter. We just heard Andy talking about Jaime Jaquez, and he's a guy you could bet on for Miami from a player prop standpoint. They're deep. They don't need one guy. It doesn't matter if Bam sits for a game. So Miami certainly won. I'm looking at their home dogs today to a T-Wolves team that, let's just say, I'm not sure that they're coming apart at the seams, but it feels to me like Minnesota peaked a year or two ago, and I'm not in love with anything that's going on team chemistry wise right now for Minnesota. So I look at Miami plus 2.5. That's what I'm interested. I was interested in the Sixers theoretically because I think Philly's bet on right now. All right. We finally have a Sixers team that's healthy. Their season-long stats don't say anything about how good this team is right now with, all the key pieces back for Philadelphia, or most of the key pieces back for Philadelphia. The problem is the Knicks were awful yesterday, and they talked about it after the game. And even on a second of back-to-backs, Philly's bet on right now. I don't know that today is the day I want to bet against the Knicks because the Knicks no-showed yesterday, and then they weren't happy about it. So lean Sixers, and even if I don't bet them today, I'll be looking to bet on Philadelphia or for the next week or two. maybe more until the markets catch up with what I consider to be their current form. Although, given the 3.5 out there, maybe the markets are catching up with Philadelphia. I've got the Sixers right now power rated as the top 8 team in the league, one of the better teams in the East, right there with Boston in the East, even though obviously their full season numbers wouldn't indicate that. So that's 2 that I'm interested in. Miami for sure, and Philadelphia moving forward. Miami for today, Philadelphia, maybe not today, but moving forward to next week.
All right, Teddy, let's hit on these 2 NFL games before we get you out of here. Steve Merrill coming in to talk some college basketball here in just a few minutes. Big Nick's Energy 26. I wonder if he's a Broncos fan. Who do you have on Seahawks? 49ers. Teddy, I do a show with you every single Monday. If you guys haven't seen it, it's called the Opening Line Report. And I annoy Teddy every single week by bringing up teasers on a Monday. But that's just because they've been really, really good this year. Art DeCesar mentioned they saw sharp money come in at 49.5 down to 47. Kind of bodes well for taking Niners in a teaser here, no?
Sure, I wouldn't argue with that. Theoretically. So I'm in play on Carolina, Tampa Bay. I'm in play with a rare 5% big ticket. I haven't had a whole lot of those. We had one last Sunday and was a sweat, but we got there. Ain't giving the money back. And we'll see if we can do it again, obviously, today. That is the early start game, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time. And I don't put out a lot of big tickets. I really don't. So when a game stands out to me to be 5% worthy, the track record is real good, short and long term. The NFL has been hot, 71% over the last 4 weeks. And I think the last 8 NFL Sundays, I'm close to 70%. So it's been good. When it comes to Seattle and San Francisco, I'm not involved for the clients in that ball game. I got a lean home dog, but I didn't get there. All right. Lean forward. And the issue is the 2 defenses. I mean, the Seahawks have a Super Bowl caliber defense. The 49ers don't. That said, in a big game, I'll trust Brock Purdy way more than I trust Sam Darnold. And we've seen it from Darnold again this season. When it comes down to facing good teams in big games, he's not a QB we can trust. Period. And that's not a theory. That's a proven track record until proven otherwise. So it's a scenario where I've got the better defense, the clearly better defense on the one side, and in my opinion, the clearly better quarterback on the other side. I'm not involved. Really, I don't have a strong lean. Not side, not total. Obviously, the lots of money's coming on the under for Seattle. And I wouldn't argue with that. Certainly, when you think about a game of this magnitude, we expect the 2 defenses, we expect relatively conservative game plans. Seattle can't chuck it downfield, if Darnold's not playing at his best. So I wouldn't argue with the money coming in on the under in that ball game, although you've already missed the best of the number. You haven't bet the under yet. I can say it's too late, but I'll put it this way. My wise guy friends, not a one of them here in Vegas who bet the under right now with the current number. You've already missed it. So you move on to something else.
There you go. There's always other games to bet. Speaking of other games, Teddy Covers also does some college basketball. Mm-hmm. Teddy, what do you got on deck today for college basketball? I sent out I don't even know how many. I think there's 17 games on that list or something exhaustive from Art DeCesar. He said, hey, here's all the sharp stuff that I can confirm, right? That means somebody that they respect at the Westgate Superbook bet it. Several groups bet it. Several people bet it. Maybe just one person bet it. So don't shoot the messenger. Art DeCesar said this morning, he said there was a lot of negative comments. He goes, are you sure you won? I said, didn't we go 11-8-1 last week? And he said, yeah, I think so. And I go, okay, guys, that's still a winning day. Everybody take the information. What do you do with stuff like that, Teddy? If I sent you 19 college basketball games that were sharp, what do you do with that information?
So it's a great question, Kelly. And the truth of it is, if you're a person that peppers the board, if you're someone that makes 20 college basketball bets, you bet all 20 of them, flat out. All right. Or you go through that list and say,
bets. Like if you're a $100 better, you bet each one of them for 110.
So you can certainly reduce if you're over bank, if it's more than your bankroll can tolerate, you reduce your unit size.
Okay.
All right. If you're normally betting 100, maybe you bet 50, maybe you bet 20. All right. But if you're asking me, what would I rather have? I'd rather have who the public likes and fade them than who the sharps like and back. Because that's what you're going to get. If you bet every sharp play, you're going to go 11-8-1, every week. You have 20, and then you're going to grind out a profit. It's a lot of work to grind out a profit. If you got what's the big public play today, you give me the top 3 public today, you'll win 2 out of 3 of those every week. It just feels like you do. So if you ask me which would I rather have, I'd rather fade the public than back the sharp. The sharps are going for 55%, and they're going for 55% at numbers you're not going to get. All right. The public's going to lose long term, and especially in college basketball where the public knows nothing, the public's going to lose pretty consistently. So if you ask me which I'd rather have, give me a fade the public before a back the sharps. Today's college hoops card for me is not yet posted. We'll post it on my homepage as soon as I'm done with this show, wt.buzz/TC. I got an all-access pass up for you right now, so you can get the 5% big ticket in NFL. You can get the NBA, and you'll get the college hoops as I post it. It'll be posted, like I said, as soon as the show is through. But when you're on 8 a.m. Pacific time, you don't always get everything posted before you get on air, but we'll get it as soon as we're off.
I make these guys get up early here at WagerTalk. I run a tight ship just for you guys in the comment section. Almost 5,000 of you guys watching across all platforms. So shout out to all of you. Teddy covers wt.buzz/TC is his homepage on wagertalk.com. End Zone Live tomorrow right before kickoff. You guys can hang out with him and the rest of the WagerTalk crew, sweating out those early games, making some live bets. And of course, Teddy and I will be back at 11 a.m. Eastern on Monday for the opening line report for Wild Card Weekend. Thank you for coming on, Teddy. Good luck today, and we'll see you on Monday.
Cheers.
Steve Merrill coming in hot here in a second, but I got to remind you guys, Ariel and I have a little survivor. Well, the graphic didn't quite fit. We're going to just work with it. Right now, $50,000 guaranteed, $25 to enter, splashsports.com/Kelly in Vegas. That is an NFL playoff survivor. I will not have a quick pick lineup for today. I will have one out for tomorrow. So make sure that you guys check it out on my Instagram page, and I will have all of those ready and hopefully going to cash. Last week we got the cash. We're going to go for it again this week. Steve Merrill, we got 13 minutes until tip-off. That's why I make Steve Merrill go late, because he's like running from somewhere. And every single week,
I love going last. I get more done.
Teddy said, "Hey, I'm jumping in," and Andy said, "Hey, I'm jumping in." I said, "Perfect," because Steve Merrill always says, "I'll be there at 11:30," and then he's like, "I'll be there at 11."
The only reason I even do this show is because you need people. You know that. Making it work.
I need people. Back. I don't need people. I need a day off, Steve Merrill.
Oh, well, it seemed like you needed people when you have. I mean, we both need a day off. I got the basketball up. The basketball was loaded like at 3 a.m.
I do it for all these people in the comment section, just so you know, just for them.
See, so Teddy said he's getting it up. So I had it up at 3 a.m. last night. The basketball was loaded. So I'm back in the office to do Wager Talk. Last call. Real quick, something Teddy said. It caught my eye. Teddy loves to pick on people and be particular. I'll take the 11-8 every week. All I got to do is follow the sharps. I mean, sign me up. I didn't have to handicap till 3 a.m., but he kind of mentioned it at the end. The problem is, he's probably right. They go 11-8, but then when you tail them, you're losing a point or two. You're going to go 8-9, 9-8, 8-1, right?
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I agree with him. Fading the public is my preferred method, because you get extra line value. That's the beauty of it, is that the reason it works long-term is because you're getting an extra point or so. And a lot of those NFL fade the public plays in early December that were crushing it. I think we were on a 13-2 run over like 4 weeks. I think 3 or 4 of them, Kelly, were like half-point covers. And it wasn't a fluke. Like Green Bay beat Chicago a month ago by 7. They were laying 6.5. That line would have been 7 or 7.5. So it really does make a difference. Seahawks and 49ers, I'm sure you all have talked about it already. I mentioned it in my video. My fade the public will be up later today, but I want to let people know the Niners are the public dog this week. And as you said,
that's what Art Caesar said.
Well, no, Art said yesterday on Joe's show that sharps for Seattle, public was San Fran, right?
He said, this is what he said. Art said.
I even said that in my video that Art said that.
No, hold on. I'm going to read it.
I hope I didn't misquote Art.
I think we're saying the same thing. 49ers money still pouring in despite the line move towards Seattle.
Correct. Yeah. The volume is on the Niners, but I think the sharper side. This is what we call a sharp square divide. I love fading public dogs. It's one of my favorite angles to use. But I also love sharp square divides, because what Teddy just pointed out, the sharps do win long term. As I said, you lose line value. But when you get a sharp square divide, you get a fair line still, and you get the sharp side at a fair price. And I think that's the Seahawks. And it's that contrarian look, right? It looks weird to see perhaps the number 1 seed is a home dog. So we'll see how it plays out.
Steve, do you do a fade the public video for college basketball? I know I should know the answer to that.
No, I really don't. But I'll tell you when it does come into play is the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
High profile games. The problem with public data, even in college football, is that the market isn't square enough. It isn't big enough. The daily sports, it doesn't work for the same reason, like the NBA, baseball. The public just isn't involved enough to let it simmer, right? To let that sauce boil and get all the public data. But when you get high-profile games like the NCAA tournament, maybe the NBA playoffs, then I do think the public data starts working. And what I look for again, Kelly, is public dogs in those. And we get a lot of those because when you get good teams as an underdog, all of a sudden the public wants them, right? They never play dogs unless it's a high-profile team. And the beauty of fading public underdogs is that you're getting a quality team. You know, like the public's against the Jets tomorrow. And that video will be up this afternoon. The Bills are a public play tomorrow. But do we trust the Jets? Brady Cook, 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions. How about this, Kelly? The Jets have not intercepted the ball all season. That has never happened over 16 games. It's already happened. That's a record already. And if they don't pick off Josh Allen or whoever else comes in after him tomorrow, it'll be the first time in NFL history they've gone a full season without an interception. That is really one of the most remarkable stats I think I've ever heard, and just tells you how bad that team is.
That is a very bad team. I have a 13.5 available in some of my splash contests, and I still don't know if I can
I get you.
5.5 points.
They'll lose by 14.
Value. And I think Crack told me on Monday that the Jets were a sharp play that they played, and I still was like, no.
There's nothing sharp about ever playing the Jets. You can play the Jets. You might win.
Well, you're not playing on the Jets. You're playing the number, right? We're not playing teams here.
Yeah. 13.5, you probably
but there are still, even for me, eye tests that need to be made. The comment section right here, Aaron Glenn is garbage. Yes, he is. The entire team is essentially garbage outside of about 3 or 4 players. That's the problem when you have Brady Cook under center, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Right. We have had some moments of okayness from some of these backup quarterbacks because of their defenses, right? Like, I am sick to my stomach that I have the Vikings -6.5 today. The line moved in my favor, but I was hoping for a JJ McCarthy, not a third string quarterback that threw for less than 50 yards on Christmas.
Was it Brosmer? The Minnesota rookie. The crowd loves Brosmer. He's a hometown boy.
Right, but he threw for less than 50 yards on Christmas.
But Kelly, all seriousness, the reason it's hard to back a team like the Jets, even at 13.5, it's the same thing in college football. I play big favorites in September. And the reason I do that is because ugly underdogs, bad offensive teams cannot catch up. They have less backdoor cover potential when they can't throw the ball. So, and the Bills are coming off a loss. It's the last home game in that stadium because they likely won't have a home playoff game. And by the way, I'm almost certain Josh Allen is starting. It's going to be his 135th consecutive start in NFL high current record or current active streak high.
But you don't expect him to play the entire game.
No. So here, I'm giving a lot away here because Fade the Public's not out yet. But I said I don't want to
give them a little preview. They
no. You know me, Kel. I do every bowl game. I'm going to do every NFL playoff game. By the way, if they hit subscribe, hit the bell, they'll get an instant alert for every playoff game free. If they click the thumbs up here, I'll do it. Boom, they did it. No, I mean,
whoa! I need more people to do it than just that, Steve. I got the WagerTalk.
Everybody just did it. Did you not just see that, Matt? Seriously, about 10% of you folks click the thumbs up. That is unacceptable. We need at least 11%. Come on now.
At least
no, I said this in the video though, Kelly. I think they're going to play their starters. You know, it's ironic, isn't it? It's like life comes full circle. You start off in a diaper, you die in a diaper. You ever hear that saying? But look, you ever think about that? You're like a 5-year-old and a 90-year-old are like the same basically. Week 1 is semi-preseason, right? Week 18 is like handicapping the preseason. We've come full circle. It's like which quarterback is playing, which teams are playing their starters. I think the Bills coming off the last home game, they're going to start Allen streak, as I mentioned. Game is 8. First half's like 5.5. First quarter is 2.5. What am I missing, right? Bills can win by 3 in the first quarter. So I think that's the best way to play.
Would it surprise any of us? It's 14-0 in the end of the first quarter. No.
I mean, how could you play the Jets plus 2.5, right? That just seems too easy. I don't want to say easy, but Bills minus 2.5 first quarter seems to be the play.
As the contrarian at the table right now, no, I could not play Jets plus 2.5.
So I like shortening the game there. I think that's probably the best way to attack that one. But it's like handicapping the preseason. That's another reason I only have 3 public plays in that video this week. We'll talk about those in the video. But tread lightly here in week 18. Something else I'll point out, and I might have missed when I just did this in my head the other night, but last week, I think there were 6 games in which there was an eliminated team playing a team still in contention. The eliminated team went 5-1 against the spread. Guess who didn't? The New York Jets got blown out by the Patriots. But some of those were fade the public plays. The Dolphins outright against the Buccaneers. The Falcons.
That was my best bet.
Yeah, that was my free play of the day. It was my last cut from my best bet card. So thousands got it for free, which is great still on my page. The Falcons Monday night, another one outright. So yeah, be very careful with these must-win situations and these teams that have something to play for. You've been doing this long enough, you know as well that it's never that easy in the NFL. It's smash mouth football. These guys, if they don't have their head ready to go, they're going to get hurt, right? So they come out and play hard. And a couple seasons ago, the Texans won the meaningless regular season finale and fell from number 1 to number 2. Didn't get the first number one pick. Carolina gets Bryce Young instead. They get Stroud. It worked out fine, right? So these teams still play hard. Plus, the head coaches won't be around long enough to benefit from the number 1 pick if they don't win. Like Aaron Glenn, he's still trying to win tomorrow.
That is a very good point. He is definitely still trying to win. I don't think it's going to matter, though. Steve, we've only got a couple minutes left. One of the things that you and I like to do on Saturdays when you're on is discuss Art's best bet of the day. And the comment section keeps asking me, you got to scroll all the way up. Maybe I'll post it one more time. But Texas Southern +7 is Art DeCaesar's best bet for the day. I did play it. I got to see who they're even playing.
Yeah, I definitely need a rotation number. And if I'm not guessing, it's going to be like a 6-digit number, Kelly. It's going to be one of those 6-digit added games. I'll find it.
No, it won't be an added game. I got you, Steve. Let me get my odds logic.
How is Texas Southern not an added extra game? It is. I just found it.
306-595.
It's the third from the bottom.
Yes,
if that helps people. Texas Southern. Yeah, that's two teams I'll probably never. Actually, I stand corrected. I remember I'd mentioned that Mississippi Valley State, Kansas State video I did on a Monday. The other half of that 2-team video was, I believe, Texas against Southern, Texas University against Southern. And I'm looking right here. Yeah, and they lost that game by 36. So I actually have handicapped a Southern versus Texas Southern game. I'll look at my database. By the way, they're coming off 45 and 50-point losses their last 2 games, and they're laying, is it correct? They're laying 6 points. You said Art likes Texas Southern in this one?
Yes, he took the +7. They're currently +6 on the odds logic screen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a hurry to lay points with teams that gotten blown out, but the problem is they're the better team. By the way, both teams play extremely fast. I'm looking at my matchups here. I will play the over in this game, and that one opened 52. It's up to 153. One of the sharpest offshore global books, Kelly, is 153 over 17. So I think the over is the sharp side in this one.
Ooh, okay. All right. Steve,
don't you dare throw Texas Southern at me and think I can't come up with something. My goodness.
It's not me. It's Art. I don't pick his best bet. He just sends me an exhaustive list, and then you try to say yes or no, basically.
I wonder how Art is doing. I love Art, but I wonder how his college season's going. If he's digging that deep for his best bet, that worries me a little bit.
I'm sure that he just stays that deep. That's the thing. I swim on the surface in college basketball. I stick with what I know. Big 12 basketball, Big 10 basketball, SEC basketball, a little bit of Mountain West still in my repertoire. But overall, what I can absorb this with so many other things going on is what's best for me.
Kelly, real quick seriousness on this. This line opens 7. It's mostly 6s out there. I'm looking at the Superbook Arts book. It's 5.5. As I was about to say, and I'm probably right now, is that a respected bettor probably played this and it made Art look a little deeper into it. And I'm not saying he didn't look at it also, but that's making a lot of sense. That was my theory. Now that I see they're one of the few with a 5.5. Yeah, I think the Westgate got a respected play on Texas Southern, and Arthur agrees with it.
There you go. That's kind of how this works.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Teddy just said the Sharps win, and I don't disagree.
There you go. All right, Steve, we got 90 seconds to end the show. What would you like to leave our audience with? I know you got your Fade the Public video you're coming up with next. What else you got going on over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, we have a huge card today. I've got 2 NFL best bets. I've got 3 basketball best bets, 2 college and 1 pro. Involving games with Cougars, Kelly. Don't get too excited. Your K-State game is involved in my best bet card today. I'm not telling you if I'm not a pro Cougar or anti-Cougar. I'm not telling you. They got to get the best bet. But also a free play in one of the early evening games in college hoops. So go get the free play. Check out the best bets. And I've also got a 3-day special promo code on the page for just $49. Johnny came up with it. It's a little tricky. It's 349 THREE49. And Kelly, I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
Inspired. What? It's what?
Exactly. When I started doing the videos the last couple of days, I was like, oh boy, this was not a great promo code.
What is the promo code?
It's 3 days all access for just $49. That's a great deal because normally football or basketball, sampler is $49 for a weekend warrior. But it's THREE, the numbers 49. The word 3, the number 49. So 3 spelled 49. Out 4-9. But it's on my page. I listed it on the Wager Talk page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And as Kelly will tell you, you'll get there quicker using shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
Johnny's fired.
No, don't do that. It was a great promo code. I should have realized.
He needs to listen to me and the witch if he wants to feel better. Then he will not be coming on to do that. Does Splash not work in my state anymore? That is possible that your gaming regulators did something screwy. It depends. NFL, college football, tiers, Survivor, Quick Picks, they're all different umbrellas. So double check that, Rex. Steve Merrill, double check his Fade the Public video today up on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. He is the best. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Kelly.
And yes, Ariel is still my best friend. I hope you guys have a great show. Steve's throwing his hands up in the air. I had to wait till we got him off camera. You can bring him back. Bring Steve back. We'll bring Steve Merrill back to the stage. Steve.
Oh, that made my day. We were
The
hustling
comment
today.
section kept saying
I had
it.
so much I wanted to mess with you on, but I knew we were running long today. So I didn't say, hey, Tommy. I was going to come on and say, hey, Tommy, I mean, Kelly. And then I was going to say also, are you still Ariel's best friend in 2026? She is very concerned after last night.
Why?
Now you're concerned. That's all I need.
Okay.
I made her. I did her
red
show real
water.
quick last night.
I just cleaned out my closet and sent her a $900 pair of shoes. I think she's still my best friend.
No, it's a good thing. I told her last night, I go, Kelly called you her best friend last week. And she got like all lit up and happy. And then she's like, well, I might have either she upsets you or something about illness, but she doesn't mind death. And I kind of, I'll be honest.
She's insane.
I zoned out at this point, Kelly. I wasn't really listening.
We are not. She is a Virgo. She is insane. That's all you need to know. Just a little neurotic. I was put on this earth to bring her back down to like reality. Good. And that's insane because I live in the clouds.
You're the regulator.
Yeah.
That is it. I told her yesterday she'd be a great litigator because she's so good at reading these contracts, looking for contract bonuses for her props.
Yep. Her dad is a lawyer.
That's what she said. She goes, no, I tried that with my dad. So I assumed he must be a lawyer because she goes, I was not good at it. So I thought that was pretty funny as well.
I think she should have probably been a lawyer. I think
you would have been a good lawyer. I would have been a good lawyer. Teddy Covers would have definitely been a good lawyer. I think a lot of us would have been pretty good litigators, but we'll have to rely on Braden. He'll have to be our litigator in the future. Yes,
my trainer Braden is hopefully going to go to William & Mary.
Get him up here. Let's go.
Oh, there you go. Are we betting them today, Steve Merrill?
They're not playing today, actually. They're off. They play Monday at Charleston, which will be a really good test for them. Went to both games Monday and Wednesday. I don't want to get too excited, but they're if you look at the Kin Palms and the other metrics, they are the best team in the CA this year. I've had season tickets for 26 years now. This is by far the best defensive version I've seen. And they are I'm getting excited. Let's just put it that way. They're, as you might know, they're one of only 3 teams since the original tournament in the 1930s that have never made it. The Citadel and Army are the other 2.
Wow.
But Army made it with Bobby Knight in the late 60s and declined and went to the NIT. So it's really just the Citadel and William & Mary. St. Francis was the other one. They dropped their Division I basketball 2 years ago. It'll be a national story. They were up 6 10 years ago at the free throw line on a 1-and-1 and blew the game in the conference finals. And I know people, obviously, and they were getting hundreds of texts.
There's a lot of pain in William & Mary basketball. Maybe I should
stop complaining. It's going to be big, Kelly. It's going to be big, and then I'll have to decide, am I going to the tournament? I always said I would if they make it. And they could actually, right now.
I hope so.
Hey, the efficiency rankings right now have them projected if they make it as either a 12 or a 13 seed. They could win a game. I'm like, yeah, that's what got me excited. Everyone else excited because they're winning. Like, I look deeper, right? Like, I'm looking at like what seed they might be.
I'm not traveling if I think you're going to get your doors blown off, right? Like,
exactly.
I'm just not going to do that.
That's a great point, and that's exactly how I'm thinking about it. It's like I'm not going to go watch them play as a 16 or a 15 seed. The women's team made it last year for the first time ever. They were a losing record, and they won the conference tournament as like the 9 seed. They were in the play-in round for the women's tournament, and they won the play-in game, which was cool. They were all excited. And then they got blown out to Texas, a 1 seed, the second best team in the country. And, you know, it's cool. You almost want to be a play-in team if you're going to be a 15 or 16 team.
That's
because it counts as an NCAA win, which is silly. So then do I go to Dayton? But they're not going to be a 16 seed. They're good enough this year. They'll be in a 12. Hey, a 12 wins every year, right?
12 wins most years. I don't know if it's every year.
It's pretty close, yeah.
There's that fun 5-12 matchup that you always want to look at.
So I'll let you run, but what I didn't do the other day.
Is actually my new favorite. The 3.
Well, I was about to look to see where the first round was the other day, and I haven't done it yet. That would be the kiss of death.
I just canceled I know you said you're going to talk about K-State basketball in one of your videos. I just canceled my flight to the K-State game after they pissed me off a couple weeks ago. And now they're going to go on a run in Big 12 play. You watch.
That's
you
reverse
watch.
jinx. I love a good reverse jinx when it comes to sports betting.
Steve
That's why I
Merrill,
won't go
you're
to the
best.
tournament game, because if they win, I'm happy. If they lose, I'm glad I wasn't there. It's a great emotional hedge. Emotional hedges are great. You need to
You're
use more
ridiculous. Steve Merrill, you are the best. The comment section tells me every day now that I'm in charge of comments here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. They love Steve. Steve Merrill,
I
at
love
Steve
them.
Merrill. He loves them. Get in the comment
seriously.
section. Argue with Steve. Tell him how much you love him. Tell him how much you hate him. We love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Last Call. Back tomorrow, Ariel Epstein. I don't have the schedule open, but we know Yanni the Greek's going to be there. And I'll find out who else for you guys. Have a great day. Cash him, don't trash him.